Well, well, well. Cowboys After Dark. Cowboys After Dark. This is for the late night folk right here. We got a great show for tonight. We'll see how long we can make it tonight. Had to take a little bit of a break, had a couple of things to take care of, but I'm back. I decided to come back tonight, and then I'll be back again tomorrow around 4 o'clock as I usually do. But again, whether it be 10 or 10,000, we're going to talk Cowboys tonight. And I do believe we have some absolutely great topics for tonight. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Hit that like button as you come in. I see many of you hitting that like button. Let's continue to hit that like button. Let's get those likes up. And let me introduce the topics tonight. So tonight our topics are going to be, we got 4 topics. And we're going to get into some nitty gritty stuff tomorrow as far as some things that have been transpiring around the league. We may weave some of those things in tonight into these 4 topics. But our 4 topics for tonight is going to be Micah Parsons' contract. Next will be 3 Cowboys to sign next. There are 3 Cowboys the Dallas Cowboys need to sign now rather than later. We're also going to look at some pre-draft trades. These are my own ideas as far as the pre-draft trades go. I haven't seen anybody talking about these 2 trades in particular, so I'm going to drop a couple of trades on us that I think the Cowboys should make before the draft, to where maybe they could get a couple of draft picks. Maybe they could get a 4th round, an extra 4th round draft pick. Maybe they can get an extra 3rd draft pick. Haven't heard anyone talking about these 2 draft picks. Maybe someone has, I just hadn't read it. And then finally, we're going to do a 3-round mock draft, because for me, the biggest impact, well, there's 2 things. It's the first 3 rounds and the 5th round for me. This is where the Cowboys are going to make their mark. The Cowboys will make their mark. 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. They're going to make their mark. Those first 3, in my estimation, should be skill positions. After that, you can go all defense if you want to. But I have a new top 3 that I would like for the Cowboys to think about. A new top 3. So again, that's our topics for tonight. Micah Parsons' contract. 3 Cowboys to sign next. Pre-draft trades. And a 3-round mock draft. All right. Let's get a roll call, and then we're going to get right to the Micah Parsons contract situation. Jason Lewis, what's up with you? Rufus Dodd, what's up? Georgie George, what's going on with you? LaQueen, good to see you. The Dude, what's up with you in the room? Lord Nova, Jared, man, I got some stuff, man. Let me tell you something. I got some stuff for us on this thing about Dak Prescott. Yeah, they always going to talk about Dak Prescott. And you think about it, Jared, it really comes with the territory. Whenever you make this kind of money, you watch what I tell you. When Micah Parsons gets that contract, a lot of people don't realize they've already criticized Micah Parsons before. Wait until he gets this contract. It comes with the territory. But I got a very interesting subject I'm going to bring up about Dak Prescott this coming week. And man, it is going to be a bombshell. It is going to be a bombshell as far as Dak Prescott goes. But yeah, Dak is going to get a lot of flack. But now, other people are going to start getting it too. Again, good to see you, Jared. Jigga Man, what's going on with you? Top Gunner, what up? Greg Johnson, what's up? Philip Mendoza, good to see you. All right. And then there are others in here, they hadn't made themselves aware. But again, whether it be 10 or 10,000, we're going to talk Cowboys tonight when we talk facts. So let's look at our first issue. And our first topic is going to be about Micah Parsons. The Micah Parsons contract doesn't make sense to me. It's not that it doesn't make sense to sign Micah Parsons. it doesn't make sense of signing Michael Parsons now. The Cowboys should have already signed Michael Parsons. The Cowboys should have already signed Michael Parsons. And I know that people are saying that it's the agent. Now, a lot of people may not remember, but when Michael Parsons first started talking all this stuff about there's no difference between 30 and 40 million. Oh, you think? Really? How about you don't say stuff like that and let your agent, who actually understands the money, say stuff that you let him deal with the money? Because I think one of the holdups on Michael Parsons' contract is his agent is not listening to what Michael Parsons is saying, but he's telling Michael Parsons, no, bro, you need to be listening to what I'm saying. And I guarantee you his agent is telling him, no, Michael, there is a difference between 30 and 40 million. Let me tell y'all what the difference is. And y'all tell me, y'all chime in the chat. But let me tell you what the difference is in 30 and 40 million. If you don't have to pay nobody, maybe you say there isn't no difference between 30 and 40 million dollars because you're dealing with tax issues. But when you're paying somebody, 3% here, paying somebody 5% there, paying somebody 2% there, 3%, 4%, when you're paying people around you, there's a huge difference between 30 million and 40 million dollars. Huge. Huge. And Michael Parsons' agent, let me tell y'all something. People are saying that Michael Parsons' agent is a holder. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, Michael Parsons' agent works for him. If Michael Parsons wanted to throw caution to the wind, his agent would have no choice but to either quit or go along with it. And that's why I told you when Michael was saying this stuff, I was like, man, he shouldn't be saying this stuff. I think it's all also semantical. He may have meant it, but at the same time, bro, you got people working for you. Let the people who work for you work for you. You let them negotiate your deals. Don't be out here in the court of public opinion taking shots and saying things like, well, you know what they say, when you're the highest paid player, you can't have players around you. Jerry Jones is going to prove Michael Parsons wrong. Because around Dak Prescott, there is going to be CeeDee Lamb. He's the second highest paid wide receiver. There's going to be Michael Parsons. He's probably going to be the highest paid defensive end. We already got Trayvon Diggs. We got Oso Digizua. While he's not the highest paid defensive tackle, he's still getting paid quite a bit of money. And they're going to continue to sign people, and they're going to continue to put people around Dak Prescott. But again, the thing that doesn't make sense about the Michael Parsons signings to me right now, why would they do this? Why would they not sign Michael Parsons immediately after the season ended? Why not? Michael Parsons said at that point in time he would take less money. The Cowboys could have got Michael Parsons probably for around 31, and, even if he does become the highest paid, 35. Okay, 35. 35 million. Joey, let's look at Nick Bosa. Let's look at the contracts for a second. I'm just telling you, this doesn't make sense to me. It's not paying Michael Parsons doesn't make sense to me. It's the dumbness of the timing. The timing is dumb. They should have been done this. Look at Nick Bosa's pay, guys. Look at Nick Bosa's pay. Nick Bosa, $34 million a year, $122 million total guaranteed, $88 million fully guaranteed. The Cowboys could have swooped in. Michael Parsons, I believe. Now, let me show you what made Michael Parsons probably go back on his first thing that he said. Y'all might not remember what I said, and some people say I'm hating on Michael Parsons. No, I'm actually just stating the facts on this stuff. Let me tell you something. Once Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, and Myles Garrett got paid, all bets were off as it applied to Michael Parsons. And let me tell you why. Of these 4 pass rushers, not including Michael Parsons, Nick Bosa, to me, Nick Bosa is the best of those 4. Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, and Myles Garrett. Now, some may say Myles Garrett is better. Okay, you can say that if you want to. But let me tell you what I know about Nick Bosa. I continue to see Nick Bosa do it on the biggest stages. I see Nick Bosa do it on the big stages. I've seen Nick Bosa in the playoffs. I've seen Nick Bosa be a part of the reason why his team goes to the playoffs. I've seen Nick Bosa in the playoffs. I've seen him be the reason why his team advances in the playoffs. I've seen Nick Bosa in the Super Bowl, and I've seen Nick Bosa be a part of the reason why his team should have won the Super Bowl. Wasn't his fault he didn't win. Nick Bosa, we've seen him do it on the biggest stage. So, by default to me, Nick Bosa has been the best out of all of them. Now, we could argue that Nick Bosa has played on the better team. But again, Nick Bosa has really, this is why Nick Bosa got paid this money, because Nick Bosa was already wrecking shop. But let me tell you where the argument went out the window. Because Max Crosby isn't better than Nick Bosa. Danielle Hunter is not better than Nick Bosa. Myles Garrett, you can argue either way you want to. There are some that's going to tell you straight up Nick Bosa is better than Myles Garrett, and there are some that's going to tell you Myles Garrett is better than Nick Bosa. They're going to tell us that. But I'm saying this to say that once the guys who were not better than Nick Bosa got more money than Nick Bosa. Now, let's understand this part. I don't really classify them getting more than Nick Bosa, because I still contend the fully guaranteed money is the only number you need to focus on. It's the only number you need to focus on, because the fully guaranteed money is the money that's fully guaranteed. The total guaranteed money is not totally guaranteed. That is dependent upon roster bonuses and various things. The fully guaranteed money. Now, Nick Bosa had the best fully guaranteed money at $88 million. But then Myles Garrett came and usurped him and got $88.8 million. And a lot of people don't realize the Max Crosby and Danielle Hunter deals, while they look good up here on the front end with this $34 and $35 million annually, can we go back to the real money? Can we go back to the $62 million and the $88 million? I mean, the 62 and the 54. And in the grand scheme of things, the Danielle Hunter's deal is only $54 million guaranteed, and Max Crosby deal is only $91.5 million fully guaranteed with $62.5 million guaranteed. The real contract is Myles Garrett. The real contract is Myles Garrett. And the Cowboys, the only place they could argue as far as these 4 pass rushers go, the only place that the Cowboys could argue with Michael Parsons is Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett. It's the only 2 places they could really argue. And so I will not be shocked, just based on what I've been hearing, that Michael Parsons' deal is going to be very team friendly. I will not be surprised on the front end of Michael Parsons' deal, it may surpass $170,000. But I'm also not going to be surprised if on the back end of that deal, the fully guaranteed money is where it's going to be at. He'll probably get $90 million guaranteed. That'll probably be where he is, somewhere around $90, $95 million guaranteed. So we're going to see how that goes. Because I've told you before, if I was Michael Parsons, man, throw this front stuff and throw these front numbers in the trash. I don't need this nonsense. I don't need you telling, oh, it's the highest paid, non-paid quarterback in league history. It's a $200 million. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't tell me it's a $200 million deal, and then on the back end, you tell me it's a $90 million fully guaranteed deal and a $125 million total guaranteed deal. Because that's probably what it's going to be more likely than not. And it looks like they're trying to go for a 5-year deal. So that may even give it a little bit more veracity. But at the end of the day, the timing don't make sense. Now, if Michael Parsons gives the Cowboys some team-friendly deal, hey, that'd be great. But the Cowboys could have got him even on a friendlier deal had they signed him immediately at the end of the season. Not only could have got him on a friendlier deal, why not do it at the end of the season? You cut in half his fifth-year option of 25 goes to 12. So now you got an additional $12 million on that thing. I mean, you got an additional $12 million available. Not only that, but because you signed him early, you don't even have to be nowhere close to $40 million. So in essence, the Cowboys are probably going to cost themselves I'd say about $15 to $20 million in this thing. Why would they do that? It doesn't make sense to me. I want them. I've been saying this. They should have signed Michael Parsons long ago. Stop the drama, Dallas. Why the drama? And a lot of people, I can just hear this in the fan base's voice. They want Michael Parsons to kind of be the, yeah, we signed Michael Parsons. That's a part of the big deal. But if anybody's been following me, I told y'all, when it's all said and done, Jerry Jones is going to say in free agency, we did a real good job, boom, 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 because we signed some free agents, which they did, and they made their defense better. They did. I would dare say the wide receiver room is better. They did that. The offensive line, whether we like it or not, it's a little bit better. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys improved. But you know what he's going to say their big free agent signings were? Michael Parsons and also Diggy. That's exactly what he's going to say. Those will be the big signings that he's going to be referring to. But the Cowboys, it's the timing. They should have already did it. The Cowboys cost themselves easily in this deal. I mean, they easily cost themselves and they're still going to be able to slash Michael Parsons' signing bonus in half, I'm thinking. They'll be able to slash that in half. But the problem, not signing bonus, his fifth-year option, they'll be able to slash that in half. But why not do it earlier? Let me show you what's crazy. This is what I keep looking at. Everybody's been talking about Keenan Allen, and Cooper Kupp and all these different people. Man, I care nothing about that stuff. Let me tell you who the Cowboys should have been looking at all along. And his name is Trey Hendrickson. Do we not realize if we signed Michael Parsons early, the money we would have saved, we actually could have got Trey Hendrickson? We could have traded for Trey Hendrickson. I'll tell you right now, I would be willing, if I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would be willing to trade and you probably could get away with a fifth. I would trade the fifth round draft pick, or I would even trade the third. I'd have traded the third to get Trey Hendrickson. I just think I might would have traded the third to get Trey Hendrickson. Or at the very least, maybe I trade a fifth and a sixth. Hey, Cincinnati, you want a fifth and a sixth for Trey Hendrickson? Maybe you don't want to give up that third. Maybe you view that third as precious. So, hey, Cincy, hey, we got the money. We'll take on that $21 million. We'll take it. And then we'll come back and negotiate a deal with Trey Hendrickson. Now, I'm going to tell you something scary about Trey Hendrickson, and we'll get to him at the end. But, man, Trey Hendrickson, Paul, when you look at what this dude has done the last 2 years, man, we've been talking about Michael Parsons. I'm going to show you what this dude has done the last 2 years, and it's absolutely incredible. And I understand what Cincinnati is doing. Cincinnati doesn't want to pay this man. They don't want to pay this man what he's earned. And they're hoping that nobody picks him up. So then they can come back and negotiate. They can come back and negotiate something like, hey, we're not giving you like Max Crosby money. We don't want to give you that type of money. So if no one picks you up, come back and we're going to renegotiate this thing. But I'm telling you guys, if you look at what Trey Hendrickson has done over the last 2 years, he's been a monster. And if the Cowboys could line him up on the other side of Michael Parsons, whew, man, you talking about a defensive line. Then you got Dante Fowler. Oh, man, the Cowboys would be crazy. Crazy. And he's pretty good in the run game. The Cowboys would be crazy. They would. I mean, that would be hard to stop. Now you would have 3 pass rushers. You could put in Dante Fowler, Trey Hendrickson as your edge rushers, and you could bring Michael Parsons rushing from the linebacker position if you wanted to. Boy, you could do some things with Trey Hendrickson, but it's, now, unfortunately, the Cowboys waited so long, and we're talking about now it's Michael Parsons. So, okay, we're going to sign him before free agency before we get to the draft. I mean, at the end of the day, I think all of the edge rushers who could probably get the extensions, with the exception, and I released a video about this today, the one who I would probably be afraid of is Trey Hendrickson, because somebody could come in, say, hey, Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, we'll trade him. Let's give him a huge deal. Or maybe Cincinnati comes along, gives him a huge deal. So the Cowboys, this was a mistake. This was a mistake. And it's mismanagement of the cap. It is. Well, I mean, we're not gonna kill the Cowboys on this. But it's just bad business. It's bad business. It's like something's on sale and you wait to buy it. And then, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and buy it. It's no longer on sale. And you just missed, you could have saved like thousands on it, but you decided to wait and twiddle your thumbs for whatever reason. If you want it, go ahead and get it, especially if you can get it cheap. And the Cowboys know full well they're signing Michael Parsons. Full well they're signing Michael Parsons. It doesn't even make sense why they did this. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Let's read this super chat real quick and then we'll get to some more greetings. My man Rod, what's going on? Roger said, what up, G? Shout out, Nation. He said, I'm ready to see what we do this upcoming season. Call Jerry and tell him to sign me at the Whop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. My man, Skeptical Fan. Go Cowboys. Appreciate that super chat. We hoping we can turn our man Skeptical to not being skeptical this year. But I'm telling you, Skeptical Fan, man, this thing with Michael Parsons, I've already been saying this, man. This right here, the Cowboys have been doing so many things good. This is rubbing me the wrong way. This is rubbing me the wrong way, and people are getting excited about it. I mean, who didn't know they were going to sign Michael Parsons? But if you know you're going to do it, why not do it? Why not do it? Do it, Dallas. Do it early. This was money you could have had towards another player. We did the same thing with CeeDee Lamb. We let everybody get signed. We signed CeeDee Lamb. We did the same thing with Dak Prescott. Rather than set the market, we let someone else set the market, and then we come back and really set the market. We could have had Dak at $55 million. And I still believe, had we not been Prince and Trey Lance all up and down through the building like he was going to be the heir apparent and Dak was going to be kicked out the door, I believe Dak gives us a team-friendly deal. But again, we paid probably $5 to $6 million more for Dak Prescott than we had to. We paid probably about $4 to $5 million more for CeeDee Lamb than we had to. And we're going to wind up paying somewhere between $4 to $8 million more on Michael Parsons than we have to. It just doesn't make sense. We got to get out of this. We have to get out of this mentality. We do. It's just bad mentality. We have to get out of this. The dude, he said, let's go. He said, I've given up listening to the Ticket and the Fan. Just listen to catch up on the Cowboys. Listen to G. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, the dude. Man, I'm telling you, the dude, man, I don't understand this stuff. The Cowboys know they're signing Michael Parsons. You wait. You just flushed some millions down the toilet. That's poor management. I'm making my mind up early on Michael Parsons. I'm making it up early. I'm not playing around, because the more you play around on these elite type of players, it's just costing you money. It's just costing you money. That's all it's doing. And Michael Parsons, the only thing they did was cost themselves money. And I'm going to be glad when they sign Michael Parsons, because, man, when you talk about Michael Parsons as a distraction, some of the distraction isn't just because Michael Parsons is a distraction. It's stuff like this. The Cowboys allowed this stuff to be a distraction by not signing him early. Why would you not sign him early if you know you're going to sign him? It doesn't make sense. Unless you were thinking about trading him. And if you were thinking about trading him, okay, I could maybe say, okay, I could see they tried to see if somebody would trade for Michael Parsons, and so it didn't happen. But if you know you're not going to trade him, why would you not just go ahead and sign him? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Greg Johnson, what's going on? I don't understand it. Yes, sir, I agree with you, Georgia. Get them lights up. Philip Mendoza, what's up? Not going to trade Michael Parsons. It's not going to happen. And that's why I don't understand why they just didn't go ahead and sign him. Don't understand it. Mike Lowry, what's up? I don't understand it. Danks, what's going on with you? Danks, I'm telling you, man, I should have paid him months ago, man. Should have paid him months ago. This does not make sense to me. It don't. OG fan for life, what's up? It don't make sense to me. This was a dumb move. Jared says he said, I feel like the media is exposing themselves by not being good enough to come up with original topics. Jared, man, let me tell you something. The media is losing their minds with these topics right now. This is why I'm going to kind of keep it real simple. I'm going to keep it simple. There's no point in getting everybody gassed up on certain things. I mean, because at the end of the day, I just be honest with you. I don't want the Cowboys to do anything extravagant in the draft. I don't want nothing. Everybody, ooh, trade up, trade. I don't know. I don't want none of that. I don't want any of that. No. I want the Cowboys to go in this doggone draft and do what they're supposed to do. We're going to talk about that when we get to the draft. Just do what you're supposed to do. Dank said Cowboys last place prediction. They're going to be pretty good, though. Watch what I tell you. Yeah, what's up, Jay Snipe? They won't be last in the NFC East. You watch what I tell you. This is the crazy part. The Cowboys are going to be pretty good. I tell my uncle all the time, as long as Dak Prescott can stay healthy, and that's the key. If Dak Prescott stays healthy, you're guaranteed to win. And we saw when he was healthy over the last 5 seasons, we were guaranteed 12 wins. Guaranteed 12 wins. And as crazy as this may sound to some people, Brian Schottenheimer is a better play caller than Mike McCarthy. Brian Schottenheimer is a better play caller than Mike McCarthy. Brian Schottenheimer is a better play caller than Mike McCarthy. And I think we're going to be surprised after this draft. The Cowboys, this team they're going to put together after the draft, and then the team they're going to really put together in 2026, it is going to be better than any of the teams that Dak Prescott has played on. Because the coaching staff right now is the best coaching staff that Dak has played under. It's the best coaching staff. It is. I'm ready to see what their identity is going to be, but they've already kind of expressed it. But I think the Cowboys are going to. I think the Cowboys are going to be way better than what we anticipate. The dude, yes sir. Always sign the players you want to keep 2 years before their contract is over, so you can get the best deal for both parties. Salaries just keep going up year after year. There it is, the dude. Straight up, as we say from the hood. Straight up. Rena, what's up, man? What's going on with you? Jay Snipe, playoff performance does not matter in Dallas. Just like Dak's performance, Michael will get his pay also. Probably will decline in play, just like every other player that gets paid. Man, let me tell you something, Jay Snipe. The quarterback position is different. And the reason why, Jay Snipe, the quarterback position is different. You're not as concerned about the decline of the quarterback. And the reason why you're not as concerned about the decline of the quarterback, unless he falls off a cliff. Now that's different. He falls off a cliff, you're concerned. You're concerned. But typically with your quarterbacks, they get more cerebral. So what they lose physically, Jay Snipe, they can pick up on with the mind. They can learn, they learn how to beat people with looks. They learn how to beat people with head fakes and they read defenses a whole lot better, at least the ones who study. And one thing we know about Dak Prescott, a lot of people will tell you about Dak Prescott, he's a studier of the game. And so Dak Prescott has already said he's seeing the game better than he's ever seen it. It didn't translate on the field. Well, we know why it didn't translate on the field, Dak. You can't read one thing and then do something else. And the thing that Dak was guilty of was forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Now, you think about Jay Snipe, what we can do for a quarterback when a quarterback starts to fall off the boat, because this is what you do. You get him better linemen, better run game, better wide receivers, better tight ends, and one thing you definitely better do as your quarterback gets older, man, you better put a defense on the other side of him. I mean, you better put a defense on the other side of him. Because if you don't, he done. So these older quarterbacks, what begins to happen is the athleticism begins to wear off, and so you can kind of insulate them a little bit, right? Here's the problem with these players, though, the individual players. You're not insulating Micah Parsons. They don't do that for players, like especially on defense, for example. They don't insulate you. If you're a cornerback and you were one of the top cornerbacks in the league, the moment you fall off, you know what they do? They don't say, hey, man, he falling off. Let's get some better linebackers and some better safeties on that side so he can be better. No. You out of here. That's what they do with your defense. You're out of here. See, we can mask play of the quarterback. We cannot mask the play of a defensive tackle, a defensive end, a linebacker, cornerback, a safety. Those positions, the moment, Jay Snipe, the moment you miss steps, we're already looking at replacing you. Because it shows up like a sore thumb. Where with a quarterback, with some better personnel, you can go, okay, we can make up for some of this stuff. Rather than going to a vertical pass game, okay, let's kind of go more to an intermediate pass game. He can still throw the ball about 15 yards. Intermediate pass game. Let's get some run after the catch wide receivers. Let's get a bump your head on the goalpost running back. Let's get a defensive line. So you do that for the quarterback. Because what you're doing that for the quarterback for, because he's ball dominant, he's supposed to have a really good mind, read defenses, all those different things. But when it comes to defensive players, Jay Snipe, we better hope that what you just said about Micah Parsons, I would not be concerned. And I'm not concerned with that as much as when it comes to a quarterback, because we may not realize it. We're watching the decline of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but physically, you don't get better physically. You get better mentally. That's what happens to you as a quarterback. So we're going to watch the physical ability of Patrick Mahomes decline. It's going to be the same thing with Josh Allen. We're going to watch it decline. You can only be a head knocker for so long. Hey, you better ask Cam Newton. Josh Allen's style of play, you can only be a head knocker for so long. Josh Allen is a head knocker if you hadn't noticed. I've already explained this about these running quarterbacks. He's the scariest running quarterback out of all of them because he's a head knocker. Josh Allen think he can be he think he can knock over any cornerback. Safety, he don't care. He's bigger than the cornerbacks and the safeties. He's big as linebackers. I mean, he's big as linebackers. It was the same thing with Cam Newton. These head-knocking quarterbacks. Once they can't head knock no more, well, what do you do? What do you do when you can't head knock no more? Now, the problem with the head knocking quarterbacks, if they haven't picked up some things cerebrally, they're done too. They're done too. But with Dak Prescott, not quite as worried. Because with Dak Prescott, he can make up for things in his mind. And if you put more weapons around Dak and you give him a running game, you're not going to have to worry about Dak. Dak's going to kill it on play action. Dak Prescott is going to kill it on play action because, again, when you look at Brian Schottenheimer's 3 years with Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott is better than Russell Wilson was at the time when Schotty got with him. Oh, no, Dak and Schotty going to do work. Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer are going to do work. So with the quarterback position, Jay Snipe, I'm not as worried about Dak falling off a little bit because we already know Dak is falling off some and the reason why Dak is falling off, we just got to be honest, and let's not call it falling off, but Dak, Dak has not been the same since the ankle injury. He's been better up here. No doubt about it. Dak has been better up here. Dak has been better up here, better with ball placement, better with reading defenses. Dak has been way better up here. The place that Dak Prescott game fell off was the running game. We couldn't get the runs out of Dak Prescott no more. We couldn't get the turning the flips as much as we wanted to, like we used to in the old days, and where Dak used to just bull rush over people. But Dak has made up for that in his mind, so I'm not as worried about Dak Prescott, Jay Snipe. But I am. I really want to see what Micah Parsons does this season. But Micah's young. Micah's what, 26? I'm hoping that Micah breaks, he's one of these people. Maybe he'll be like a Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett got his deal. Myles Garrett still wrecking shop. Myles Garrett still wrecking shop. So I'm hoping Micah Parsons is going to be one of them same type. I do. Robert M., what's going on? He said, appreciate that super chat. Man, Robert, you know what? Man, I can't help. You know what? Robert, tell me this isn't crazy. The one player that the Cowboys actually did it right with, and if they could do all their deals like they did this deal, it's Trayvon Diggs. Robert, the Cowboys, the way they did Trayvon Diggs' deal is insanity, because the Cowboys have fixed it to where they can walk right away from Trayvon Diggs this season and save money. Save money, man. They did the deal early. They didn't wait on Trayvon Diggs. They did it early. And they fixed it to where he got a bunch of the money up front. They didn't push none of his money down the road. They didn't use none of those void year stuff. No, Trayvon Diggs. They can walk away from Trayvon Diggs, Robert M., almost scot-free. It's insane. And I do believe, I'm telling y'all now, unless Trayvon Diggs come back tearing it up, Cowboys walking away from him. And a lot of people, the Cowboys lost out on Stephon Diggs. They didn't want Stephon Diggs. Cowboys didn't want Stephon Diggs. And I'm telling us, man, we got to stop letting the media fool us with these dumb deals. And let me tell you something about the Stephon Diggs deal. Y'all probably know this now because I keep saying it. Ignore what these people keep saying about these deals. The Stephon Diggs deal, they're making, it's a $69 million max deal. Stop it. Does the NFL pay the media? Stop it. This isn't a $69 million deal. This is the headlines. Patriots signing wide receiver Stephon Diggs to a 3-year, $69 million max deal. Keep your ears open. Max deal. Now ask yourself this question. How many players actually see the max deal of a max deal? How many players? How many players see the max deal of a max deal? Do we not understand that that is an incentive-laden deal? And the reality of that deal, it's a $26 million deal. That's what it is. And we're walking around we got people trying to kick the Cowboys in the teeth about Stephon Diggs. One, I didn't want Stephon Diggs. I'm not the GM, but I didn't want Stephon Diggs. I don't understand who was clamoring for him. Why would we want Stephon Diggs coming off of an ACL injury? Why would we do that? And now they're talking about, man, he 5 months ahead of schedule, man. He running 5 months ahead of time. I don't care. When I see, we already got Micah Parsons. We already know he's doing a podcast. Let me tell you something. Back in the 90s, they used to say this stuff about Michael Irvin. And even Shannon Sharp said this, and it makes a lot of sense. You can't have more than one Michael Irvin on the team. You can't have more than one Antonio Brown on your team. You can't have two Dennis Rodmans on your team. There's only enough room for one Dennis Rodman, one Michael Irvin, one Antonio Brown, one Terrell Owens, one Randy Moss. You could just go down the line of players who have kind of tripped a little bit during their career. Well, you can only have one of those players. We already got ours. It's Micah Parsons. And he ain't dog crazy. He just got a podcast. He says some things in those podcasts. We wish you wouldn't say those things, but it's not like he's out there committing crimes and stuff like that. I think he's a distraction in the locker room, but I do believe someone says he said he's not going to change the podcast. I don't believe it. I believe he is going to be a lot more careful in what he says going forward. You watch what I tell you. I think he's going to be very smart in what he says going forward. But you can't have more than one Micah Parsons. And Stephon Diggs and Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs? Oh, no. We could not have that on Monday mornings. No, we could not have that. No. CeeDee Lamb already be pouting when he don't get the ball. We cannot have Stephon Diggs pouting when he don't get the ball. No. We don't need that. We don't need that in our life. But again, the Stephon Diggs deal, it's hilarious to me. Let me see if they got it up already. Let me just show you how these people. I'm like, okay, is the NFL paying? Is the NFL paying these people? I mean, because when you look at the deal in its totality, and I think I've already seen the guaranteed money on it. Here it is right here. Look at this. Let me show you how to read these deals, because the media sensationalizes everything. The New England Patriots reached an agreement on Tuesday on a 3-year deal, $69 million deal. Okay, watch how it reads. That includes $26 million guaranteed. Wait a minute, hold on a second. It's a $95 million deal. It's $69 million with $26 million guaranteed. Let me help us read it. No, it's a $69 million deal, but it's really only $26 million guaranteed. So what does that tell me? Can't wait to see the breakdown. I'm not a betting man, but I'd be willing to bet somebody if I was a betting man. How much you bet Stephon Diggs don't see? How much you bet Stephon Diggs don't see $69 million? How much you bet? How much you bet that he don't see $69 million? I will not be surprised if Stephon Diggs if they're done with Stephon Diggs year number 2. When I see 3-year deal, I see 2-year deal. When I see $69 million deal, I see a back-end loaded deal that if you make that 3rd year, they're going to call you right back to the table. They're going to renegotiate that deal so that they can push some money down the road, and they're going to save some money by you signing and ripping this deal up and signing a whole nother deal. Because only $26 million is guaranteed. The other $69 million is not guaranteed. So when they bring you back to the table, they're going to make sure, man, you ain't getting that $69 million. You're not getting that. If you're doing that good, keep in mind he's 31 years old. I'm just telling us. I laugh at this stuff. But again, long story short, Robert M., I don't think there was no way they were signing Stephon Diggs, because I don't think they're going to keep Trayvon Diggs. And if you're not going to keep Trayvon Diggs, would you really want Stephon Diggs on the team? No. Why even deal with stuff like that? Why even deal with the off the field drama of Stephon Diggs? No. I don't think they ever wanted Stephon Diggs. Only way the Cowboys would have got Stephon Diggs is that the Cowboys could have got Stephon Diggs dirt cheap. And the reason why I don't believe they wanted Stephon Diggs is because they didn't get Stephon Diggs. Because the reality is a $26 million guaranteed deal over 3 years is not a lot of money. That's why I would love to see the breakdown of the contract. Man, these contract breakdowns will tell you, they'll tell you everything you need to know on this stuff. They do. They tell you everything you need to know. But again, I don't understand. They did Trayvon Diggs' deal right, but everyone else, Oso Digizua, we dodged the bullet on Oso Digizua. Oso Digizua liked Dallas, likes it in Dallas, and decided not to take us to the cleaners. And the Cowboys were definitely about to overpay him. He didn't take us to the cleaners. Okay, thank you. Now we're going to see Terrence Parsons. You know, the Terrence Parsons thing is fascinating to me. The Terrence Parsons thing is fascinating to me. I just think a little bit different. I'm not mad at it, but I think a little bit different. I wouldn't want my brother telling my business. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think on that. I couldn't have my brother telling my business. Only way my brother's telling my business is that I want my brother to tell my business. So that's what's got me wondering. Because I can't see his brother doing this unless he allows him to do it. But that's strange to me because I wouldn't want my brother doing that. But maybe they have a different type of relationship. And with Michael Parsons being a media guy, maybe his brother wants to kind of get his, maybe he wants to I don't know. I don't see him really doing YouTube and stuff like that to where he's trying to have trying to be a content creator. But, I'm pretty sure people pay him, to do some of the things that he does. It's just a little strange to me that he's talking the deal out in the court of public opinion. Strange to me. I'm not mad about it, but it's just strange to me. It's really strange to me. But again, the timing of the Michael Parsons contract is dumb to me. It's just dumb. Cowboys should have did it. If you're gonna sign him, just go ahead and sign him. Just go ahead and sign him. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Azteca, we should cut Diggs. He probably won't be the same anymore. Oh, don't you worry. Azteca, do not worry. Diggs' deal is built to cut. It's built to cut. Robert M. was talking about the contracts. If you want them, sign them early. Man, let me tell you, the contract they got in front of, it was the Trayvon Diggs contract. Boy, they got in front of the way they did Trayvon Diggs' deal. It is fascinating. They literally fixed it. I know I've already shown it, but, we got time tonight. It's Cowboys After Dark. Amen. Trayvon Diggs' contract, man, it's masterful. The way they did Trayvon Diggs' contract. And the way they did Trayvon Diggs' contract, it just tells me that Trayvon Diggs must have knew something too. They must have did something and they all knew. It's like, to me, all parties knew there's like something not right with Trayvon Diggs. Because why would Trayvon Diggs give them this deal? Look at this deal. Why would he give him this deal? He got a lot of money. He got a lot of money up front. It was a $19 million average salary, $21 million signing bonus, guaranteed $33 million at signing, total guarantees $42 million. Strange, isn't it? It's kind of strange, isn't it, how these contracts, they fix them to where you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that up to money, but that guaranteed money, they make sure you get that guaranteed money. And so you think about it, the Cowboys, it says the potential out 2025. You better believe the Cowboys at the end of this season, because what wound up happening to Trayvon Diggs? He had a clause in the contract to where 2025, if I'm not mistaken, the clause in the contract states 2025 was going to be guaranteed. This is one of the reasons why, these teams will really cut you when you start getting those. You get a little older, you had a couple of injuries, they got those injury guarantees. Man, they'll stop you from playing in a heartbeat. And they're getting ready for the cut because they don't want you to get hurt, because then they have to wind up paying that entire salary. But again, if you look at the way the Cowboys did this, 2025, they got it fixed. Well, let's go to 2026, actually, because the 2025 season is the one that's guaranteed. They're not letting them go in 2025. They're going to let him go after 2025. This is his last season with the Cowboys, unless he come out here and he absolutely balls out. Look at this. If he's a pre-June 1st cut, the Cowboys save $10 million. If he's a pre-June 1st trade, they save $10 million. I just don't see anybody trading I don't see anyone trading for Trayvon Diggs unless Diggs tears it up. But if I'm somebody trying to trade for Trayvon Diggs, the only way I trade for Trayvon Diggs is I absolutely want him, and he has been tearing it up, because otherwise I'm going to say the Cowboys got to cut him. The Cowboys got to cut him, so we'll just wait on them to cut him. But again, post June 1st release, the Cowboys will save $4 million in 26, $4 million in 27, $14 million savings. See, they got out ahead of this contract. And they set this contract up without pushing no money down the road that we're going to walk away from this contract. Post June 1st trade, they basically saved the same amount of money. The Cowboys were masterful in how they did Trayvon Diggs' contract. They were. I don't understand why they don't do the majority of them like this. They should have got out in front of Oso Digizua. They should have got out early on him. The Cowboys waited 1 year too late on Oso Digizua. They did. They should have got Oso Digizua early. But now, they paid market value almost, and I think he saved us some money. But Oso Digizua, he got paid. But he didn't take us to the bank. I don't think he took us to the cleaners. Once we saw the deal, he didn't take us to the cleaners. But again, when you think about, these deals, they should have did these other deals like this. And even with Michael Parsons, they should have signed Michael Parsons when he first started talking about it. But now you've allowed him. Now you've allowed him to get 3 other players signed. And because we've done this, it's going to cost us. And I'm sorry, that's just money we could have used to get other players. So I don't understand why the Cowboys did that. But again, that moves me on to my next subject that I want to talk about, because Robert M., you make a great point, and I'm pretty sure some of us are making the same point about signing these players early, because you really want to, in all costs. The Cowboys have had a bad philosophy. The Cowboys believe you don't set the market, but if you follow the Howie Roseman game plan, no, you set the market. It's genius. It's genius. Howie Roseman needs to start a school for GMs. Because if I was a GM after watching Howie Roseman, I already know how I would do it. The moment I see you shining, it's time to do that deal. That's me. DaRon Bland, it's time to do that deal. It's time to do the deal on DaRon Bland. Now, let me read a couple of your comments, then we're going to go to the next subject, and that is going to be our 3 Cowboys to sign next. 3 Cowboys to sign next. Oh, y'all talking about Big Mace. He said Hurts got carried. He said, I don't play. Sorry. Now, Big Mace, let me say this. I don't see anything wrong with him being on a great team and just doing his part. Because in reality, that's what I want to do. I want to be on a great team, Mace, and just do my part. I don't want to have to play hero ball. I don't want to have to be Superman. I want everyone to be good enough to do their part and everybody make plays so that when we walk out on the field, all the onus is not on me to be the only one to make a play. Can someone else make a play? Because if you can get me somebody else that can make a play, then the plays I'm going to make, boy, they're going to be, you're going to watch me do some plays. If you can get me some other playmakers, man, you're going to watch me do some plays. It's going to be incredible. Because, again, the greatest example to me as this applies to is Michael Jordan. Man, we knew what Michael Jordan, once Mike hit the league, we knew what Mike was. This dude is crazy with it. We knew what he was. But boy, when he got Scottie Pippen, Mike went to another level. Mike went to another level with Scottie Pippen, man. Because he had somebody else that could make a play. And once you get a superstar, somebody else that can make a play, then he can make those Aaron Donald type plays at the moments that you least expect. He can make those plays that turn the whole game. Even though in that Cincinnati Super Bowl, I think Aaron Donald was offsides, but that's a story for another day. And Jalen Ramsey had got burned out of his socks by Jamar Chase, which he was getting burned out of his socks the whole game. But again, I digress. Aaron Donald made a play when you needed it, even though his argument could be offside. But again, when you put players around a great player, man, the stuff they can do is incredible. But I want the players around me so that when I need to make an incredible play, I can make it. Because if you put all the pressure on me to make every play, you're going to be disappointed because I'm probably not going to make them all. And again, Big Mace, you think about it. I talked about this already. When you look at the Super Bowl that they went to the first time with Jalen Hurts, when they put the whole team on his back, they lost. They scored 38 points on defense. They lost. But when they took the team off his back and instead got him a superior defensive line, got him a good to great defense, got him a good to great offensive line, got him, when you think about, I saw something today, people were asking, is A.J. Brown a top 5 receiver? I don't care if A.J. Brown's a top 5 receiver, because when you pair A.J. Brown with Dante Smith, A.J. Brown may not be a top 5 wide receiver. You can argue that if you want to. But are they in the top 5 of wide receiver duos? Because I would say they are. I would say in wide receiver duos, they're top 5. They're not top 5 alone. They're top 5 together. And so when you put all of that around Jalen Hurts, now let's put the cherry on the top. Saquon Barkley. I was thinking about free agency this year. There was no Saquon Barkley in free agency this year. There was no Saquon Barkley. I can't think of a player in this free agency that I even thought last year when the Eagles got Saquon Barkley, I said, uh-oh. I didn't have the channel then, but I was already saying it. I said, uh-oh. The league done messed up. You let the Philadelphia Eagles get Saquon Barkley. I already knew. I said, uh-oh, it's over. I didn't know Saquon Barkley was going to be this dynamic. But Saquon Barkley was incredible and should have been in the MVP race. You put all of that around Jalen Hurts, hey, man, Big Mace. Hey, if he didn't win the Super Bowl, it'd have been a travesty. Even though, think about this, Big Mace. I've said this before. The Eagles also got some luck on their side. I talked about the 3 or the 4 things that you need. You need a good team. You need a couple of or a few good to great players. You need to be healthy. Big Mace, this is the one people don't talk about. You need some luck. You need some luck, Big Mace. You need some luck. And the luck that they got, I'm telling you, the entire NFC got, it was the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions defense got decimated. It opened the door for the Philadelphia Eagles. It opened the door wider than it was. It almost opened the door for the Washington Commanders. When the Detroit Lions got injured, it changed the NFC playoff picture. Because I'm telling you, if the Detroit Lions had stayed healthy, man, I don't know what we would have been looking at. Because the Detroit Lions were beating teams so bad early in the season, teams were complaining that they shouldn't be beating teams that bad. They were killing teams. But if anybody remembers, I said something after the Detroit game against the Cowboys. I said it. And you can go back and look at the video when I said it. I said, Dan Campbell is going to regret leaving. What was his name? Hutchinson? He's going to regret leaving him in that game. There was no reason for him to be in that game. They were slaughtering the Cowboys. But they're in there because he's got a vendetta against the Cowboys about the game they had the year before. He wanted to really stick it to the Cowboys. And it was the game that wound up. It was the beginning of the undoing of the Detroit Lions. Hutchinson went down and they just started going down one after one after one after one. But again, Big Mace, you need some luck too. You need some luck. Robert M. said buyer's remorse already. We're going to see. Man, we're going to see, I'm telling you. Sean M., he said trade Diggs to the Patriots. Here's the problem, Sean M. Nobody's going to trade for Trayvon Diggs. No one's going to trade for him because let me tell you something. Other people already know, too, what's going on. They don't know all the details, but they know that Trayvon Diggs got some issues. They know. They know. And Jerry has let the cat out of the bag. Jerry's already said he's got some bone-on-bone action going. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be able to trade Trayvon Diggs. They're not. The Cowboys are going to have to wait and see what he is when he comes back. That's all they're going to be able to do. They got to see what he is. They got to hope they got to hope that he's good. But even then, it ain't going to matter because Cowboys, they're not going to trade him. They may try to trade him, but I don't think they're going to be able to trade him because if I'm a team, I'm not trading for him. No, you don't want him, so we'll wait on you to cut him. I believe the Cowboys are going to walk away from Trayvon Diggs at the end of this season unless he is absolutely killing it. Pete said Hurt has the best wide receiver duo, best running back, best O-line. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yes, sir, Big Mace. That's it. See, that's the thing that people have to understand, and this is where I want the Cowboys at. We got a top 5 wide receiver. But then when you look at the wide receiver duos, shoot, man, we got to be worse than the league. We got to be, I don't know of a wide receiver duo worse than ours, man. It's that bad. It's that bad. It is. But the Cowboys should be able to fix that. But let me move to this next topic. Y'all keep rocking with me. Hit that like button. Y'all keep rocking with me. Let's go. Let's go to this second topic. Let me tell y'all right now, Robert M., we were just talking about this. Y'all guys were just talking about this. There are 3 players. There are absolutely 3 players the Cowboys should sign immediately, and I mean immediately, after Michael Parsons. Immediately. They shouldn't even wait for the season. Don't even wait on the season to get going. There are 3 players. Let me pull up the Cowboys depth chart. There are 3 players the Cowboys absolutely must sign right now. And I'd already said this before. I'm even more adamant about it now. There are 3 players the Cowboys need to sign right now. And let me start on the offense. The Cowboys immediately need to sign this dude right here. Tyler Smith. The Cowboys need to sign Tyler Smith right now. Right now. He's coming off of an injury, but he's been really good. The Cowboys need to sign him now. There's no point in waiting. You know unequivocally you want to keep one Tyler Smith. You know you want to keep him. So why not sign him? Why not sign him now? Why not sign Tyler Smith right now while you can get Tyler Smith cheap? Sign him now. I'm just telling you. Sign Tyler Smith right now. The Cowboys got to sign Tyler Smith. It makes no sense to wait on Tyler Smith. It doesn't. We already know what he is. I'm sorry. We already know what Tyler Smith is. Who don't know Tyler Smith is good? We already know what he is, guys. The Cowboys need to go ahead and sign him. when you look at some of the stuff on this guy on Pro Football Focus, his overall grade is a 75. He's 22nd out of 135 guards. You're not signing him? 14th out of 135 guards on pass blocking. We're not signing him? 21st out of 135 guards, run blocking. 24th on snaps played. Only 9 penalties, 2 sacks allowed. What are we waiting on? What are we waiting on this dude? You can see the stats all here. I mean, why would you not sign this dude now when you know you can get him dirt cheap? And I'm not saying you're going to get him dirt cheap, but I bet you're going to get him cheaper than what you're going to get him if you continue to let him play at the rate that he's playing. They need to sign Tyler Smith. It makes no sense not to sign him. It makes absolutely no sense. Y'all tell me what you think in the chat. But the Cowboys need to go ahead and sign Tyler Smith. It don't make sense not to sign him. It doesn't. Wait a minute, man. That's Tucker. No, you didn't say this up here. That's Tucker. Did you say Bone, Diggs, and Harmony? Man, you tripping up in here. Oh, man, he said Bone, Diggs, and Harmony. Yeah, that boy is, man, he got that bone-on-bone action, but we're going to see. We're going to see. Yeah, Tony Perry, I said this in the video, and I said this before. Even when Michael Parsons said this, Tony, you're talking when you're not the one negotiating the deal. The agent is negotiating the deal, and that's why I didn't believe none of that stuff Michael Parsons was saying. Because, Tony, Michael Parsons' agent is not telling Michael, there is a difference between 30 and 40 million, bro. There is a difference. I guarantee you his agent told him it's a difference. We like our guys. He said the Lions are going to be all right. I tell you this, like our guys, last year, the Eagles dodged a bullet. The Eagles dodged a bullet last year, and we're going to see this year they got some new coaching things going on. But last year, they dodged a bullet. NFC dodged a bullet. Them boys was dangerous until that defense went down. They were dangerous. The dude, he said it was dumb of Jerry to put out that bone-on-bone info. He said you just killed any draft capital you had with Diggs. Yeah, they're not going to be able to trade him. Yeah, Diggs is going to be a cut for the Cowboys at the end of 2025. Dan, I think the deal been done. That's the done part. The deal been done. That's the done part. Big Maze, he said, I'm glad G sees my perspective and not just glazing over a running back who plays quarterback for the Eagles. You know, hey, Big Maze, at the end of the day, it is what it is with Jalen Hurts. We're never going to probably call Jalen Hurts the best quarterback in the league. And that's okay too, Big Mace. It's okay now, you know, but he was on the best team. That's how you win championships. Being on the best team. And again, a lot of teams are getting this smart, Big Mace. Why put everything on the back of a quarterback? How about you take some things off his plate? Well, the Eagles took a lot off of Jalen Hurts' plate. Hey, man, don't worry about it. You're not going to have to worry about playing. You're not going to have to worry about playing from behind a lot. You're not going to have to worry about coming back in the fourth quarter. You're not going to have to worry about game-winning drives a whole lot. Don't you? You don't have to worry about none of that. You don't have to worry about none of that. All we need you to do is do what you do. Less than 200 yards passing. Get us less than 100 yards rushing. Do the tush push when we need you to. I mean, think about how many touchdowns Saquon Barkley could have had if it was not for the tush push. Saquon Barkley probably would have had 20 touchdowns. Easy. 20 touchdowns. Easy. Telling you. Like our guys, Jerry cannot be quiet. You're right. Azteca, he said Tolbert is a number 3. Ooh, I'm about to tell you something that's going to blow your mind. Mingo could be used more. Carl, I can't wait to see what Mingo is when the season starts. Cannot wait to see what Mingo is. Jay Snipes, he says Eagles don't have the best. No, they don't have the best. They're top 5, I believe. Higgins and Chase are the best wide receiver duo, at least in my estimation, hands down. Hands down, Jay Snipe. Chase and Higgins are the best. And, you know, you said most underrated wide receiver Higgins. But I don't know who those people are. Boy, that boy Higgins is dangerous. That boy Higgins. And the Cincinnati Bengals still didn't treat him right on that contract. What they did was they gave him a 2-year guaranteed contract. But again, Higgins still getting paid a ton of money. Higgins is still young enough that after the Cincinnati Bengals, he can hit the market again if they'll let him hit the market. He said the Lions and Eagles built those teams by trading the quarterback. Can't trade Dak. No. The Eagles didn't build that team by trading Dak. By trading. I know you're talking about Carson Wentz. No, they didn't build that team by trading Carson Wentz. And the Detroit Lions definitely didn't build their team by trading the quarterback. No, they didn't build those teams like that. Because both of those quarterbacks, the thing that people don't understand, Dak delusional, both of those quarterbacks are paid. Jalen Hurts was not paid the first Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts was well paid the second Super Bowl. And they put players around Jalen Hurts after they paid Jalen Hurts. The Detroit Lions did the same thing. They absolutely paid Jared Goff. Now, one of the things that they did with Jared Goff's contract, it's a big contract too, but they were able to fix some of Jared Goff's money to where it didn't hit at a certain time to where they could go get some of those players. But no, they built a team around him while they when they paid Jared Goff too. So no, not true. He said, yes, sir. He said, yo, much respect to you for at least keeping it real as a Cowboy fan. Bobby Murray, I have to. I have to. Pete, he says, losing Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, they're going to look different. Yep, Pete, they're going to look different. No doubt. They're going to look different. For sure. They're going to look different. I'm very interested to see. And you know what, Pete? Let me tell you the part no one's talking about. Let's stop thinking that Kellen Moore is a slouch. See, we think Kellen Moore is a slouch. Okay? All right. We're going to see what they look like without Kellen Moore. We're going to see what they look like. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, when you look at that doggone Jamar Chase, that Jamar Chase T. Higgins is probably the best in the league, and at least in my estimation, Jay Snipe. But again, the Eagles, top 5. You don't have to have the best. You just need top 5. You got a top 5 wide receiver duo, and then you mess around and have the best running back in the league. And then you have a quarterback who can run the ball for 100 yards and throw it for 150. And then you throw in the tush push anytime you get 3rd and 1. If you get 3rd and 2, it's going to be 2 times with the tush push. 3rd and 2 turns into 4th and 1. You can't stop him. The tush push, what makes it so dangerous, you can stop it once. You can't stop it twice. It's impossible to stop it twice. If it's 3rd and 2, they go for it, they get a 1, and then it's 4th and 1, you can't stop it twice. It even wears you out if you try to stop it twice in a drive. It wears you out. That's why Green Bay is trying to push to stop that doggone tush push, because it's hard to stop. It takes a lot out of you. And you can do it, but you can't do it twice. You can't. And not many quarterbacks are squatting 600 pounds. This doggone Jalen Hurts is an anomaly. You got a quarterback, a quarterback squatting 600 pounds. How do you stop him on the tush push? When that whole play is designed to get low, get leverage, pump your legs, and get pushed on top of it. Whew. Boy, let me tell you, that play is a monster. There's a reason why they try to stop that play, boy. There's a reason why they trying to stop that play. Uh-oh, Robert Ebb, he's trying to guess my next 2. Well, let me go ahead and tell you my next one. The Cowboys, I digress. The Cowboys, the second player they need to sign right now, DaRon Bland. Sign DaRon Bland right now. I would not be waiting on this with DaRon Bland. DaRon Bland is going to go, they're going to have to crack the bank on DaRon Bland. And this is one of the reasons why people may not understand. This is one of the reasons why the Cowboys are saving some of that money. Now, let me tell you why it would be smart to sign DaRon Bland now. Coming off of an injury. And he didn't look And I know some of it is because he was injured coming back, but he didn't look the way he looked the year before. So you need to get him now. You need to get DaRon Bland now while his stats don't look as good as they looked before. You can get him now where you can use some games against him. Where you can use some games. And I'm not saying in a bad way, but it is what it is. I mean, you can say, because he didn't. Hey, a lot of people are talking about Al Harris and how Al Harris was not doing a good job with the defensive back. So there are so many things if you're talking to DaRon Bland. There are so many things that you could use and say, hey, you're not a top 5 cornerback. You mess around and let that joker play a whole season, DaRon Bland gonna be a top 3 cornerback. And if he's a top 3 cornerback, we already know he's about to get paid. Cowboys need to sign him now. Cowboys need to sign that joker now. We like our guys. I'm so glad we didn't sign Cooper Kupp. I don't know what to do. Sean M. said, bring Tyron Smith back as a swing tackle. Probably not going to happen. Pete, oh, man, I'm telling y'all, I'm so glad we didn't sign Cooper Kupp. When I heard people talking about CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott called him, I'm like, please, no. No, no, no. No, do not. Do not. Dan, he said Michael, Bland, Smith, Ferguson. Hey, Dan, let me tell you something. I want to see something else from Ferguson. I know he was hurt. I need to see something else from Ferguson before I commit. Schoonmaker, man, let me tell you something. Schoonmaker started turning it on. Schoonmaker was turning it on. I'm just telling us. Schoonmaker was turning it on towards the end of the year, so we're going to see. Azteca says, Tyron Smith is from Inland Empire, South Carolina. Okay, shout out from another hand. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you. 5 years, $80 million. Tyler is a great guard. Hey, I'm signing him now. I'm not waiting because I'm telling you, you mess around, let Tyron Smith come out here and dominate this year, that price is going up, 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 up. It ain't going down. DaRon Bland is going up. It's going up. I would go ahead and sign DaRon Bland. I would sign him. And there's one more person I would sign right now. And this person right here was arguably the MVP of the Cowboys' entire season. And y'all already know what it is. It is none other than this doggone Brandon Aubrey. This man needs to be signed. Period. End of story. And I'm telling y'all, maybe he's different. But Brandon Aubrey is going to be kicking for the Dallas Cowboys at 31 or at 30 years of age, turned 30. He's going to be kicking for the Dallas Cowboys for $1 million. I'm just telling you. If I was Brandon Aubrey, I'm just being honest with you guys. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And if I was the Cowboys, I wouldn't make him do it. I just wouldn't make him do it. There are just some times when someone just flat out outplays a contract man, and I just got to do something. I got to do something. I cannot. Look at Brandon Aubrey's contract, guys. I can't let Brandon Aubrey kick on that. I can't. I cannot let Brandon Aubrey kick this year for $1 million. I cannot do it. Can't do it. I could not do it in good conscience. And I know, hey, it's about saving the money for the Cowboys. I just couldn't do this to Brandon Aubrey. And I definitely wouldn't want to do this. You start talking about, restricted free agency and stuff like that. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even do this stuff with Brandon Aubrey. I'm signing this dude now. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy that the Cowboys hadn't already went and worked a deal with this guy. We like our guys. You think about this. I like what you're saying right here. But I want you to think about this. You know why we were saying that Dak had weapons? Because some people think that Amari, Lamb, Gallup, and Wilson were like a super quad wide receiver group. But I want us to understand this. The CeeDee Lamb we have looked at for the last 2 years is not the CeeDee Lamb that was with Amari Cooper. Because if we could have got the Amari Cooper then with the CeeDee Lamb of 2023 and 2024, I promise you that's a whole different wide receiving core. They're different. CeeDee Lamb had not yet come into his own when Amari Cooper was here. He had not come into his own yet. That was not the same CeeDee Lamb. It wasn't. It was not the same CeeDee Lamb. Man, I'm telling you, because I was thinking about this last year, because I was like, man, and in 2020, it was 2023 when I was really thinking about it. The Amari Cooper, when the Amari Cooper the Cowboys had, and then CeeDee Lamb would have came into his own, they literally would have been the best wide receiver duo in football. They were not the best wide receiver duo in football when Amari Cooper got here because CeeDee Lamb hadn't yet broke them wings in yet. CeeDee Lamb wasn't what he is now. See, because if CeeDee Lamb played now with Amari Cooper, it would be CeeDee Lamb who would be the alpha wide receiver this time. And Amari Cooper would be he would be the enhancement for the main wide receiver. He's going to be the second wide receiver, basically. It would be different now. But I would like to see CeeDee Lamb now, even with Amari Cooper now. Because I think CeeDee Lamb now with the Amari Cooper now would be better than the Amari Cooper then with the CeeDee Lamb then. Because CeeDee Lamb then wasn't him like he is now. CeeDee Lamb is him. CeeDee Lamb has gotten tougher over the last couple of years. He's got a little bit more size on him a little bit over the last couple of years. CeeDee Lamb is very good at running after the catch. CeeDee Lamb is different now. And this is one of the reasons why when I think about CeeDee Lamb now and people saying all these wide receivers that we need that are out there in free agency, I don't think you need those type of wide receivers with CeeDee Lamb now. It's not that they wouldn't be good with CeeDee Lamb now, but CeeDee Lamb is so good, what he needs is the B wide receiver. He needs the Batman to the Robin. He gets one of these other receivers, he's probably battling as the Batman. He's the Batman. They need the Robin. And unfortunately, not a one of these doggone wide receivers they have right now is close. Yeah, I feel like the Cowboys, Dan says, I feel like the Cowboys are up to something. And yet we don't have the details on the Paris Campbell signing. Yeah, let me tell you something. I think the Cowboys think they're the smartest people in the room right now. I do. I think the Cowboys think they're the smartest guys in the room right now. The Cowboys are saying to us right now, y'all don't think Mingo's any good. We're going to show you that Mingo is good. This is where the Cowboys are. The Cowboys believe Mingo is going to be good. The Cowboys believe that Mingo is going to be different with Dak Prescott. They believe that. They 100% believe that Jonathan Mingo is going to be different with Dak Prescott. And as it pertains to one Jalen Tolbert better get ready. I can tell you right now, Jalen Tolbert better get ready. Because I believe that Jonathan Mingo is going to challenge Jalen Tolbert for that third position. Because whoever they get as the rookie, the wide receiver they get as the rookie will be the number 2 wide receiver. But Jonathan Mingo, better get ready. Better get ready. Now, that brings me to this. Let's get to this next subject. This is an idea that I have on my own before the Cowboys get to the draft. There are two players, and let's pull up the Cowboys depth chart again. There are two players that I think we ought to circle. Let me see here. Yeah, there are two players here that I think the Cowboys should circle. And let me pull them up here. I think I had my depth chart up, and I want to see if I can pull it up again. But there are two players the Cowboys should actually have circled. And I think the Cowboys need to figure out, can they trade these two players? Can they trade them? And I think those players, let me pull up the Cowboys depth chart. Let me show you the two players that I think the Cowboys need to think about trading. And I would trade them now if possible. And some of you probably already know the two players I'm talking about. But there's a player on defense. If I were the Cowboys, I would already be inquiring teams to see if they would trade a pick for him. Damone Clark. If I were the Cowboys, because I brought in Kenneth Murray, I brought in Jack Sanborn, Demarion Overshown, we know he'll be back later on in the season. And we got Maurice Leafau, which I don't think he's going to be a starter. I'm interested to see, will Michael Parsons some type of way find himself playing linebacker sometimes, because I'm listening to Matt Eberflus say something that I thought was very interesting when he was asked about Michael Parsons, and he said something that I thought was interesting. He said he's going to rush the passer. He didn't say from where. He just said he's going to rush the passer. We know we're going to have Nealon coming back, who is the DeMarcus Lawrence replacement. I think they're going to move him to the DeMarcus Lawrence position. So if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going to see if I can trade Damone Clark. Could I get back into the fourth round trading Damone Clark? If I'm the Cowboys, I would put the feelers out for Damone Clark. Like, hey, is there someone who might want Damone Clark for a fourth or a fifth round draft pick? Preferably a fourth. Let me see. Let's see, what does Pro Football Focus have a grade? I don't even know if they have a grade. Damone Clark, it's just been one. It just has not been right for Damone Clark. And the Cowboys it's like they keep hoping on Damone Clark, but it just never. Let's see here. They got a 68.2 overall grade on him. I'm just saying, if it was me, if I'm Dallas, you got to find some players that would be worth draft capital that at the same time probably won't hurt you as bad, because they really haven't been playing. Well, Damone Clark is one of them for me. If I'm the Cowboys, I would see if there is somebody that would trade for Damone Clark. Y'all tell me what you think on Damone Clark. I would try to trade him. I would. I would try and trade Damone Clark. What can I get for Damone Clark? That's where I am. What can I get for him? Richard Owens, what's going on? I'm trading. I would trade Damone Clark. Y'all tell me what you think. I would be trying to find somebody that would give me a fourth or fifth round draft pick for him, because I don't think he'll be on the team, but he won't. He's not going to be the starter. I mean, that's bottom line. He's already got relegated to second on the depth chart the moment they brought in these new guys. The moment they brought in Murray, I mean, it was a wrap. The moment they brought in Kenneth Murray Jr., Kenneth Murray Jr. is a starter. Jack Sanborn Jr. is a starter, and I'm telling you, I will be shocked if he doesn't earn an extension with the Cowboys. If I'm the Cowboys, and if everything that these Chicago people keep saying about Jack Sanborn comes true, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, the moment this dude hit mid-season, I'm giving this dude an extension. Because they're saying that Jack Sanborn is a tackling machine. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm looking to trade Damone Clark. I would. Purple Soul, what's going on? I would trade Damone Clark. And while you guys are catching up, I'll come back and read where you are because you're a little bit behind me. There's another player. If I'm the Cowboys, and this may shock some of y'all, there's another player on the offensive side of the ball. If I'm the Cowboys, I would be looking to trade this player. It's Jalen Tolbert. If I were the Cowboys, I would trade Jalen Tolbert. I think Jonathan Mingo is already going to challenge him. I do. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jonathan Mingo. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jonathan Mingo beat him out. I will not be surprised if Jonathan Mingo flat out beats Jalen Tolbert out of the third position, because whoever they draft is going to be the number 2 receiver. They will be the number 2 receiver. They got Cavante Turp. They got, let's see. And I guess they got Jalen Tolbert at the number 2. He's not the number 2. Jalen Tolbert should be at the number 3 spot. Cavante Turpin is actually back here. The Cowboys are going to lose some of these wide receivers. Jalen Brooks, I don't see him being here going forward. I mean, the Cowboys got so many of these wide receivers on the depth chart. Man, these dudes are not going to be here. But again, if there is somebody the Cowboys could probably get a 4th-round draft pick for, I would see if there was a team willing to give up a 4th-round draft pick for Jalen Tolbert. I would. I would see if there's a team out there. If there's a team that'll bite on Jalen Tolbert, they can have him. Because the Cowboys are about to seriously upgrade at the wide receiver part, at the wide receiver position. So if I'm them, these are the 2 positions I'm trading. I'm trading Damone Clark and I'm trading Jalen Tolbert. And my goal is with those 2, I'm trying to get back into the 4th round. I'm trying to get another draft pick. I would trade both of them. I would try to get me another 5th, and I would definitely try to get back into the 4th. You never know. You could maybe finagle the 4th for both of them. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm trading both of them. I'm absolutely trading both of them because the Cowboys have an opportunity in this draft to do some serious upgrading. Yeah, George, this is where I am. I would trade Tolbert. I think you could get a 4th. You might be able to get a 3rd for Tolbert. You might be able to get a 3rd for him. Because I think he's going to be the odd man out, because I think the Cowboys are really big on Jonathan Mingo. And they had Jonathan Mingo with a higher draft grade than Jalen Tolbert. So if I'm the Cowboys, I would trade Jalen Tolbert. You could probably get some draft capital for him. I would. Boy, Azteca said, man, in our system, he's a number 3. In any other system, he could easily be a number 2. Well, if that's the case, Azteca, I'm trading him for a 3rd. I would trade him for a 3rd. I'd try to get a 3rd for him. Top Gunner said, who wants him? Hey, maybe somebody has him rated as a 4th or a 3rd. I would trade him. Yep, Curtis Temple. He's ran his course. Maybe we can get a 4th for him. I'm the same way. I think we've seen as much as we're going to get out of him. I'm trading him. Pete, Sanborn is going to break 100 tackles this year. Watch. Hey, Pete, I'm with you. Man, I'm telling you, if you listen to the Chicago media talk about this Jack Sanborn kid, they are steaming the Cowboys got this dude. John Hibb said all the Jalen's can go. Man, Jalen Brooks is probably just going to be flat out cut. But Jalen Tolbert is someone, because he was the leading touchdown receiver on the team last year, you may be able to get something for him. I trade him. I would trade him. I would absolutely trade him. Big Mace, you're exactly right. The defense hasn't stopped the run since the 90s. Yeah, blame one person. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. We've had a problem with this. Man, we've had a problem stopping the run for a long time. Robert Hibb said, buy one Jalen, get one free. Man, I'm telling you, man, I would trade this dude. I would. He stepped up, Azteca. This is the very reason why because Azteca, this is the very reason why you trade Tolbert. Trade him while you can get something for him. So you don't have to wind up cutting him, because I'm telling you, I think the Cowboys are really big on Jonathan Mingo. They had him high on the draft board, and they want him to succeed. Miss Matrix, I'm with you. Hit that like button. What's going on, Miss Matrix? Georgie said Jalen Tolbert would be an absolute good fit for someone else in exchange for what we need. Same for Clark too. Yeah, those two players could play somewhere else, and I would let them do it. Yeah, Azteca, he did pretty good in 2024. And again, you're hitting it right on the head. That's the reason why I want to try to get a pick for him. And I would try my best to get a 4th-round draft pick for him. Dan said, gee, I don't know if Tolbert can bring back and forth. Man, I would definitely try. I would try my best. I would try my best to get a 4th for him. G-Dub said, you can't even get a 6th for Tolbert, man. I'm telling you what, I'm going to test the waters. I'm going to test the waters on it. I'm telling you, I'm going to test the waters on Tolbert. And I'm definitely going to test the water on Damone Clark. Because I think the Cowboys, those two guys are going to find themselves odd men out anyway. If I were the Cowboys, I would try to get draft picks for them. I really would. I really would. And that brings us to the last topic. I want to do another 3-round mock draft. Because I got a different idea now for the draft. And some of this would have to be coincided with if the Cowboys could get a trade some kind of way. And I do think the Cowboys are already working on getting back into the 4th round. They did it last year. I got a strange feeling they're going to do it again. The Cowboys are going to make a trade and get back in the 4th round. And so one of the things that I've been looking at, because a lot of people are talking about, I don't even know why. Michael Irvin was talking about the Cowboys getting Ashton Jeanty. I can just tell us up front, guys. I'm positive. I would be shocked if Ashton Jeanty falls to the Cowboys. Let's look at something real quick while we pull this up. Let me see something here. I don't think let me see what Tankathon has. I do not think in any situation, I will be shocked if Ashton Jeanty falls to the Cowboys. I don't think it's going to happen. I do not think it's going to happen. But, you know, while we're looking at the mock draft, before we go to the mock draft and looking at Tankathon, let me tell you something that I find to be very interesting. And I'm going to talk about these pro days tomorrow. Man, let me tell y'all something. I do not get fooled by pro days. A lot of people go crazy over pro days. I do not go crazy over pro days. And the reason why I don't go crazy over pro days, those are scripted days. I want you to think about how scripted those are. They allow these guys to go over these drills over and over and over and over. The throws over and over and over and over. Everything they're doing, they're working on it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So why wouldn't they be great at their pro days? Why wouldn't they be great at their pro days? And the reason why I say this about the pro days, because there is one individual. Let me see if y'all remember this photo. Let me see if y'all remember this photo. Watch this. Let me show you why I don't get. I don't. Pro days mean nothing to me. Let me show you why pro days mean nothing to me. Look at this. Anybody remember this? Anybody remember this? Anybody remember when Johnny Manziel came out? Look at him. He got on the camouflage. He got on the black Nike. I remember when he had the shoulder pads on everything. Everybody was like, dang. Y'all see Johnny Manziel? Johnny Manziel had on the black helmet. Johnny Manziel was out there in full pads almost. Let's look at the headlines. Johnny Manziel shows a little bit of Hollywood at Strong Pro Day. Man, miss me with these pro days. Stuff is so rehearsed. Why wouldn't they look good? The pro day is designed. The pro day is designed and put together for the player to look like an absolute pro. And everything they're doing, they've been working on for weeks. Look at this. Look at this. Johnny Manziel, former Texas A&M quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner, friend of LeBron James. Ooh, hold on. The friend of LeBron James. And former President George H.W. Bush, an NFL host. What does all this got to do with this man playing football? Put on a pro day performance Thursday like few the NFL had ever seen. Really? Ooh, I wanted to put on a good show for them, Manziel said. Jerry Jones wanted this man bad. And I'm thinking this is the year we took Zach Martin instead of Johnny Manziel. These pro days do nothing for me. Nothing for me. Look at this. Manziel warmed up for his workout in private before strutting into the Aggies fieldhouse with rap music, the uncensored variety. Woo, he's tough. Blared from the speakers. Manziel wore a matte black helmet, shoulder pads, a black number 2 jersey, shorts in camouflage print, part of a special line of Manziel gear being marketed and sold by Nike. I don't care nothing about these pro days. If they don't look good during pro days, I don't know what else to tell you. Of course they're going to look good during the pro days. I care nothing about these pro days. And so, at the end of the day, the Cowboys, they really got to make some smart decisions as it applies to the draft. The Cowboys got to be smart. The Cowboys got to stand. Boy, y'all got me tripping out of here. So Ron said Diddy Party. He said Diddy Party Johnny. Boy, that boy, hey, he from where I'm from too. That boy Johnny was a partier, boy. But that boy at A&M was a different level, man. But when he got to the pros, nah, he just wasn't it. Just wasn't it. But again, these pro days and stuff, and people be going crazy about this stuff. And let me tell y'all something. The New York Giants is doing something kind of weird to me. A lot of people are saying, and again, let me go back to Tankathon. Cam Ward lit his pro day up. And that's kind of where I was. Cam Ward lit his pro day up. So basically, the Tennessee Titans are enamored just like they were with the other quarterback they got. And so now Cam Ward is probably going to be the quarterback. But let me tell you something that could shake up this entire draft. The New York Giants are doing something that I'm like, what are the Giants doing? What in the world are the New York Giants doing? So you're telling me you're going to have Shedeur Sanders, Jameis Winston, and Russell Wilson. Or, because I said this before, I'm just being honest with you. If I would have been the Tennessee Titans, and I'm trying to rebuild my team, I might would have brought in somebody like Sam Darnold. I would have traded that number 1 pick. I would have traded that number 1 pick and just brought in Sam Darnold. And I would have been like, let's see about another quarterback class or 2, but we can get Sam Darnold. Bring him in on that deal that he got brought in on for Seattle, something similar to that. And you can just get you more draft capital. That's what I would have did. But the New York Giants, This could be interesting. So they're going to do Jameis, Wilson, and Shedeur Sanders. Let me tell y'all something. The New York Giants are going to shake up the entire draft if they mess around and if they trade that pick for trade that Shedeur Sanders pick. They're going to tear the whole draft up. They're going to tear the whole draft up. They are. A lot of people have been saying Shedeur Sanders is dropping down in the draft. I don't think he's so much dropping down in the draft. I think the problem is when you look at the top, the top 20 teams, they don't need a quarterback. He's not dropping because all these teams want Shedeur Sanders or wanted Shedeur Sanders, and now these teams don't want Shedeur Sanders. There are really, in the grand scheme of things, 3 teams only. 3 teams that need quarterbacks. It's Tennessee, Cleveland, and New York. You want to know what the crazy thing is now? New York don't need a quarterback. They don't need a quarterback. If there's any doubts about Shedeur Sanders, if I'm the New York Giants, I trade this pick. Who want it? Who want a 3rd pick in the draft? Who want it? Who's willing to give up 2 number 2s? Who's willing to give up 2 number 1s and 2 number 2s? Who wants this draft pick? If I'm the Giants, I'm telling you. I don't understand bringing in Jameis Winston. And I mean, man, you want to talk about a crazy quarterback room. Who's going to be the 2nd or the 3rd quarterback? This is crazy to me. I'm just wondering what in the world the New York Giants are doing. The New York Giants may shake up the whole draft. Because if they trade that pick, who gets it? And who's to say if someone gets that pick, they get Shedeur Sanders? This is a very tricky situation right here. If Shedeur Sanders don't go in the 3rd, Patriots not getting him. Jaguars not getting him. Would the Raiders get him? To sit behind Geno Smith, would they get him? But then if they get him, then Genty will be available. You see what could possibly happen with that? That situation in New York has really got my spider senses tingling. Because I'm like, wait a minute. When they brought in Jameis Winston, I was like, okay, they want Jameis to kind of mentor Shedeur. And then when they brought in Russell Wilson, wait a minute. So you're creating a quarterback competition between 2 veteran quarterbacks, and one of these quarterbacks is going to be your 3rd string quarterback, and you're going to bring in Shedeur Sanders to start over Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson? Sounds strange to me. Hey, it's the New York Giants. They could do it, but it sounds strange to me, guys. Y'all tell me what you think. And if they wind up doing that, and you get Shedeur Sanders, and he makes it past the Raiders, do the Jets pick him up? And then if the Jets pick him up, then Armand Mimbo is free. And again, some of this stuff happens, and it becomes, it's a ripple effect. I'm sure that if Shedeur Sanders don't go to the Giants, this is going to change up some people's draft. It is. And Lord forbid, Shedeur Sanders got down here to number 12. They would probably have to handcuff Jerry Jones in the bathroom until that pick was over. This is going to be very interesting. I really want to see if the New York Giants take Shedeur Sanders. Because if the New York Giants don't take Shedeur Sanders, where does he go? I wonder would San Francisco pick him up? I wonder, could Kyle Shanahan resist? If Kyle Shanahan could resist Shedeur Sanders being at number 11, could Kyle Shanahan resist it? and bring him in and say, Purdy, see you later. This is going, Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur Sanders doesn't get picked by the Giants, we could watch an entire top 11 totally dismantled. But the New York Giants have put themselves in a very unique position because it's the same thing I said, that if I was one of these top two teams that needed quarterbacks, I said this before, if I were the Titans or the Giants, I would trade those picks. I would trade them. I would. I would trade those picks. Man, you could get a ton of picks if you're the Tennessee Titans or the Giants. Because you're not trading that pick to get Shedeur Sanders. You might trade that pick to get someone else. And Shedeur just goes down. You might want you might want Travis Hunter. You're the New York Giants. You might literally want Travis Hunter. Or some other team says, hey, man, I want to trade up. We're going to give you our one this year, our one next year. Man, we want to get Travis Hunter. We want to move in front of New England and get Travis Hunter. This is going to be very interesting. And it's going to be very interesting for the Cowboys, too. And that's one of the reasons why, for me, if a lot of people keep saying if the Cowboys should trade forward, the Cowboys should trade back. I'll be honest with you. Just in my humble opinion, I don't think the Cowboys need to do any trading. Nope. First round, Cowboys. It's this simple. Be patient. Don't listen to anyone else. Do what it seems like you're going to do. It's this simple. First round, Dallas Cowboys. No trade offers, nothing. Now, if Ashton Jeanty is at 12, I do not believe Ashton Jeanty is going to be at 12. If Ashton Jeanty is at 12, Cowboys, don't even think about it. Just draft Ashton Jeanty. Don't even think about it. Don't even give it any thought. You need the best running back in the draft. And if you believe that Ashton Jeanty is the best running back in the draft, you go get Ashton Jeanty. But we're going to pretend that Ashton Jeanty is not here, because I do not believe he's going to be there. Where the Dallas Cowboys are going to find themselves is that it's going to boil down to wide receiver, because I think that's what they should do in the first, because Ashton Jeanty is going to be gone, and because the draft is so deep at running back, you need to pick the wide receiver first. Now, after doing some research on one Matthew Golden, do not get me wrong, I'm enamored by the 40 time. But when I look at the overall, when I look at everything these two wide receivers do, I'm going to pick a Mecca, and I think someone pronounced his name as Egbuke. I'm picking a Mecca from Ohio State. That's who I'm picking. I'm not going backwards. I'm getting a Mecca, unless I know for 100% sure that I could trade back, get another pick, and still get a Mecca. I don't want Luther is great. I looked at some tape on Luther. Luther is great. If I'm the Cowboys, I want a Mecca. And the reason why I want a Mecca is I'm not looking at just the physical things. I'm looking at the fact that this kid, a Mecca, has done it on the biggest stages. Ohio State is the big stage. It's the big stage. They're used to playing on TV. They're used to playing in front of the big crowds. They're used to expecting to win. I'm getting a Mecca. That would be my first wide receiver off the board if I'm the Cowboys. I'm not even, and again, unless I know I can still go back and get a Mecca, this is no thought for me. I don't even care. I'm not thinking. I'm getting a Mecca Ibuka at number 12. And then when it comes back around, guess where I'm going? Now I'm going to the running back position. Now, y'all might think a little bit different than me. Amarion Hampton, big, bruising running back. I'll be honest with you. If I'm the Cowboys, I already got something for this. I'm going with Travion Henderson. If I'm the Cowboys, these are my first two picks. These are my first two picks. Emeka and Travion Henderson. This would be my first two picks. And the reason why these will be my first two picks is because Ashton Jeanty, I just don't think he's going to be there. So you're going to have to pick the best wide receiver in the draft. Well, for me, the second best wide receiver in the draft is none other than Emeka. That's who I'm taking. That's who I am taking. Now, if I get to the third, if I'm the Cowboys, you can go anywhere you want to go right here. I'm not really concerned as much as where they go right here. Again, there are people who have been talking about cornerback. I would probably take the best cornerback on the board. Some people have been talking about edge. I would take you can take the best edge on the board. Some people have been talking about defensive tackle. You can take the best defensive tackle on the board. Some people have been talking about the guard position. You can take the best guard on the board. But I got a plan in my head of what I'm going to do when I hit the fifth round. But again, they can pick anybody they want to at number 76, and I'm fine. Because Emeka and CD will be dangerous. Emeka and CD Lamb will be dangerous. They immediately jump to the top. I believe those two receivers would jump to the top 5 right now. Let's see here. Let me go down here. Let's see. The dude, he said, I'm with those two picks, man. I'm telling you, boy, the Buckeyes, man, they used to doing it on the biggest stage. That's why I'm going with them, dude. They're used to doing it on the biggest stage. That's why I'm going with them. Big Bay said, Henderson and Emeka, we definitely better than Russell and the Giants. Hey, I'm telling this, man, these two kids are going to be monsters. They are. They are going to be monsters. Curtis says, if you got him, I would not draft a wide receiver in the first round. Again, for me, if I'm the Cowboys, this is one of the reasons why I'm the Cowboys. I'm not going to fool with any of the... And the reason why I don't want any of the veteran wide receivers, you're going to get them for 2 years tops. None of these wide receivers are getting 3 years. Stephon Diggs is not getting 3 years. Amari Cooper will not get 3 years. Cooper Kupp got a 3-year deal. It'll be a 2-year deal. Devontae Adams is a 2-year deal. Keenan Allen, when he signs, is going to be only a 2-year deal, might be a 1-year deal. All these veterans, you're just still kicking the can down the road. And to me, when you start talking about these 30-year-old, 31-year-old wide receivers, those to me are win-now wide receivers. Those are win-now wide receivers. You get those guys when you say this year. You don't get those wide receivers if you're saying, because again, Stephen Jones said the goal is to build the best roster in the NFL. You do not do that in a season. You don't do what the Cowboys did in 2024 free agency, 2024's draft, and from that say, we're going to build the best roster in the NFL when you also let quite a few of your free agents, or you released a lot of free agents this year. No, you don't do that. What you got to do now is what they've done in free agency. You build the depth. You go in the draft. You get the players that's going to be with the depth. Some will be starters. Some you're going to develop. And then in 2025 is where you say, now we're in win-now mode. Because now we got our team depth back. We got some starters back. Now in the draft, we want best player available. Free agency, we want an impact player that's going to push us over the top. 2026, 2027, we go into win-now mode. You're not in win-now mode. You're in get better mode. You're not in win-now mode. You're in get back competitive mode. You're not in win-now mode. Now, if we can build, hey, don't get me wrong, if the Cowboys can build a team and immediately go back to the Super Bowl, just get right back in Super Bowl contention, we'll do it. But everything I've seen now, understand how this is working. Even when they did this with the 90 Cowboys, Jimmy gets his coaching staff. Jimmy starts to get his players. Jimmy makes some trades. Then Jimmy got to where they could get best player available and some trades that would now push them over the top. That takes you 2 to 3 years. So this is the year. The Cowboys are a year ahead of where Jimmy was when the Cowboys started going to the Super Bowl, because the Cowboys, when Jimmy gets in, they got Troy, they got Michael Irvin. They don't have Emmitt Smith. They don't have these type of players the Cowboys got now, like the Oso Digizuas. They don't got these players, the Michael Parsons. The Cowboys, it took them a little time to get those players. Well, the Cowboys already got those players. So the Cowboys have got to get the team back situated. So once they get the team back situated, which is what they're going to do after the draft, then they got to get these coaches in, and everybody got to start gelling and getting on the same page. And that's still going to be another year of, that's going to be this year of growing pains. And we're going to see it really start to come into its own by midseason. Cowboys will be competitive down the road. I think the Cowboys probably win a playoff game or two this year. And then it'll be next year we'll be going, wow, this team is like ready now. The team is like ready now. So for me, this is why I don't want none of these veteran receivers. They're 2-year guys at the most. And I mean at the most, they're 2-year guys. No, go ahead and get these doggone rookies. They're not only for now, in the second year, they'll be even more devastating. They'll be playing like top-tier players in year 2. Top-tier players in year 2, and you got them for 7 years, and way cheaper than those veterans. Way cheaper. Got them for 7 years. 7 years. 4 years, 5th-year option, 2 tags. No. You go in there, and you get these guys right here. And then, like I said, Cowboys, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they went in and maybe they tried to go cornerback. I think I've heard some people talking about Dorian Strong. Let me see if the kid from the kid from Florida State is not on here. Not the one everyone's been talking about. But you got options on here. Cowboys, just for the sake of arguing, take Jacob Parrish. Top cornerback. But when I got to the 5th, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I think the Cowboys got a very interesting opportunity in the 5th round. They have a very interesting opportunity. If I'm the Cowboys, because this kid has already been linked to the Cowboys, and I've seen some tape on him. We watched tape on him. I'm going and get this kid, Damian Martinez. I'm going to get me 2 running backs. But now I must do something that's going to really shock you. Thanks to Angie the Rebel Chicks and some of you others. Let me see if he's still in here. He's probably not going to be in here, but I'm going to tell you who I would hope the Cowboys could get in the 5th at wide receiver, but he's already gone. And I think his draft stock is rising. If I were the Cowboys, if he was still there in the 5th round, I would get Savion Williams from TCU. With Savion Williams, and I was tempted in the 3rd round. I was actually tempted in the 3rd round, and I wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys did it. I would be tempted in the 3rd round to get Savion Williams. I would have Ibuka in the 1st, but I would not hesitate if I were the Cowboys. It would not bother me if the Cowboys got Savion Williams in the 3rd round. Savion Williams is one of these type of players that he's not only a wide receiver, but he's going to have an impact because he makes the jet sweeps look different. He can take direct snaps. We watch him do it at TCU. You can play him out of the backfield like a running back, like Deebo Samuel. Run after the catch. I mean, when you think about how big of a receiver he is, how nasty he is, how good he's going to be in the run game, even blocking. If Savion Williams would have been here, I would have picked Savion Williams. I would have picked Savion Williams. I would have went for a second wide receiver. I would have went for a second wide receiver in the draft. I would have. But again, The only reason why I do not think the Cowboys will go for they probably won't go for a second wide receiver as far as someone like, say, Savion. And it looks like Dante Thornton, at least on this draft, he got moved up. So the Cowboys, at that point, I will not be surprised once they get to the fifth. The Cowboys will probably start going defense again because you'll have three offensive players. This is really what you need. The Cowboys will have three offensive players in that, and after that, do what you want to do. You just pick up the best edge rusher. Pick up the best edge rusher. I'll just pick the top guys just for the sake of it. You can get the top edge rusher. If you want to, you can go in here and get you another interior offensive lineman. Seth McLaughlin, they got him in here. You can go in and get you another defensive tackle if you want. You can kind of get who you want in here. All right, got these trades here. You go in here and get who you want. Get Ty Hamilton. I mean, you could do all of these things right here. But the key for me with the Cowboys, it is the top of their draft. You can go in here, get you a couple of safeties or get you a safety. They got R.J. Mickens. I'm just picking for the sake of it now. Go back here again. I would go back to wide receiver. Let's see. And the crazy thing is, you got a guy like Jimmy Horn. If I were the Cowboys, I'd pick Jimmy Horn back here. I think Jimmy Horn is going to be great. I really would. I think Jimmy Horn is going to be great. Cowboys, they can go back here and get him another edge rusher. Get this kid from Georgia. Georgia's been pretty good. But again, you add this draft up right here. You get a draft like this, hey, man, this is a killer draft. Cowboy fans would be ecstatic over this draft. Just off the top 3 picks alone. And really the top 4. You get you 2 running backs. Because one of these running backs for the Cowboys has got to go. One of these running backs in this running back room has got to go. These 2 guys they picked up, man, I'm not even thinking that both of those running backs are going to make the team. I'm not even thinking it. I think that one of those running backs is going to get cut because I'm actually hoping the Cowboys get 2 running backs. I'm absolutely hoping the Cowboys get 2 running backs. I am. Yep, I am for sure. That's where I am. But again, let me read some of you guys' comments on that before we get out of here. But that's kind of where I am, guys. I think the Cowboys don't need to do nothing else. Only thing I would like the Cowboys to do, if they want to do something else in this period of free agency, we're calling it, I guess. Only thing I want the Cowboys to do is continue to improve the defense. The offense is in the draft. I don't want any of these offensive players. I want the Cowboys going to draft and get them. I want them young, hungry guys that we're going to be able to have for the next 7 years. If I'm the Cowboys, that's what I want. I do not want none of these veterans. I don't want them. It's just the draft is just too loaded for the Cowboys to go and do anything else. Let me come down here and see what you guys got in here as far as what I've done so far. That man, stop it, Skull. Yeah, that boy Jerry, wild boy. That's all I can tell you. Jerry Wild, man. Yeah, Dan, he said go defensive tackle, a cornerback at 76. I kind of went cornerback there. Boy, what would Jimmy do? Yeah. If you go wide receiver and running back in the first 2 rounds, then you got to go D tackle. Yeah, that's what I did. I went cornerback. They might go D tackle though. Yeah, and this is the key, Big Mace. Building a team. And this is what I think they're doing. They're trying to build a team. Because the Cowboys have been so top heavy for years. I mean, even in the Romo years, you could always name all these all pros and all these players the Cowboys got, but they never were a team. This is the best coaching staff to me they've had since Jimmy Johnson. Best coaching staff they've had since Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, Jimmy and Troy. Now you gotta understand something, Dak Delusional. You gotta be honest here. Michael Irvin was already a dog, but understand why he was a dog. Troy wasn't a dog until Jimmy made him into one. Troy wasn't a dog until Jimmy made him into it. Jimmy made Troy into a dog. He was not a dog at first. He was not a dog at first. Coaching can do that for you. Jimmy turned him into a dog. Yeah, Jimmy turned him into a dog, absolute. But I'm good. I'm telling you. Yeah, defensive tackle or edge. I think they'll probably address those in the later rounds. And again, D-Web, we got to understand, undrafted free agency. D-Web, that boy Thornton was gone on me. Yeah, that boy Thornton was gone. Yeah, Richard, that's the issue with the Cowboys. They got to turn it back into a team. And that's what Jimmy did. That's what Jimmy did. Jimmy straight up told Troy. Dave Onstad told the story. Jimmy told Troy, you can't throw interceptions to be the quarterback for me. And so one of the things they did for Troy, they went and got him a run game. They went and got Troy a run game. That's all they did. When he got Troy a run game, when he got him a line, when he got him Alvin Harper, when he got him a top 5 defense, number 1 defense. I mean, they really supplemented Troy Aikman. And again, Jerry admitted it. Hey man, it was a non-salary cap era. I mean, you could just basically go, hey, if you had the money and the player was free, man, it was a non-salary cap era. This is when free agency kind of went crazy for a little period of time. Man, the Bartolo and Jones got Super Bowls off of it. But now Jerry's got to learn how to play the game better. Jerry's got to play the game better. And I think they're going to play the game better. My only problem is the thing with Michael Parsons was a mistake. Cowboys should have paid Michael Parsons before now. Cowboys could have signed an extra player. Cowboys could have signed an extra player with the money that they're going to put into Michael Parsons now. Oh man, what's going on? Lost in translation. Yeah, this is the splash draft. Lost. I'm just telling you, lost in translation. The Cowboys have got to just. This is where you can fix your offense, because offensive players in free agency, if they're just top tier, they're very expensive. Man, get them in the draft. Okay, Dan said Tyler Batty from BYU is a dog. Okay. The Cowboys are going to have some opportunities in the later rounds, Dan, and that's just facts. But in those top 3 rounds, if I'm the Cowboys, hey, man, I got to go all offense. I have to go all offense in those top 3. Because for me, now, if I was really going crazy with it, I'll be honest with you. And this would probably drive some people crazy, but I'm just going to tell you what I would do if I was Cowboys based on some things that I've seen. Now, if I were the Cowboys, and I don't know why they keep letting Ashton Jeanty fall to the Cowboys, it's just not going to happen. But if it did happen, if I'm the Cowboys, I'd take Ashton Jeanty. It's really a no-brainer. Now, I tell you this. The Jaguars off on the 3rd or 4th or 6th, and then to around 1, 5, and a 7 for my 12th round. Man, if the Jacksonville Jaguars offer the Cowboys that, man, I would jump at that, man. I would jump at that to have another 3rd and a 4th, another 6th, and then get a round 1, 5, and a 7 the following year. I would take it, but I'm going to reject it because I know that ain't happening. But again, if this scenario happens right here, Ashton Jeanty at 12, the Cowboys aren't even going to think they're going to get Ashton Jeanty. I just don't think that's going to happen. And that's why I keep picking around it. But again, if I'm the Cowboys, now it seems like they're predicting that Ted McMillan will not make it to the Cowboys. So if Ted McMillan doesn't make it to the Cowboys, I'm sticking to Emeka again. And then, of course, I'm gonna run back to the running back position again, and I would make the same pick. I would get Emeka and Travion. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I would do differently in the 3rd if I'm the Cowboys. If I could just have my way, this is what I would do. I would go Emeka, Travion Henderson, and Savion Williams. Now, that would be way out there. And then I would turn back around in the fourth. And then I would dedicate the rest of the draft to defense. Because I would dedicate the rest of the draft to defense other than this next pick. Because I think if the Cowboys can go back here and, boy, this would be tough for me right here. To pick between Bashul Tootin and Damian Martinez, I don't think Bashul Tootin will be back in the 5th round. I don't think Bashul Tootin's going to be back there. I don't. Again, the Cowboys seem to be linked to this Martinez kid. I would pick him again. But after this, all of these rounds right here, I'd go all defense. But, man, I'm telling y'all, Savion Williams, Savion Williams is going to be crazy. Savion Williams is going to be crazy, guys. I really expect Savion Williams, whatever team he goes to, and I tell you this, I definitely wouldn't mind it being us. Savion Williams is going to be a breakout player. He's going to be a breakout player for some team. He is. Breakout player. I think he's going to be incredible. Yep. I think him, I think Bashul Tootin. I think these guys are going to be incredible. I do. Yeah, but you got to understand, Skull, we've had this discussion before. Troy was him because they put a super team around him. You can argue it all you want to, but I've already done it. Won't do it tonight. I've already shown the stats. What did Troy look like before the super team? What did Troy look like after the super team and Jimmy? What did he look like? He was him, all right. And there's a reason why a lot of people were arguing that Troy Aikman shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. There were people arguing that because they knew that he played on a super team. He did. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to play on a super team, man. It is. I'd love to play on one. I would love to play on a super team. I would. Yeah, hey, Pete, I'm telling you, that's a great point. I'm taking big school players too. And that's why those Ohio State guys are so attractive to me because, man, they used to being on the big stage, man. Big stage players. Stage will never get too big for them. Hey, Top Gun, I have not forgot about that boy, Marcus Yarns. No doubt. That boy's serious. Big Mace, we got to hit on every draft pick. We do. We can't have no duds, Big Mace. We can't have not one dud. Everything. Like Big Mace. Big Mace. Man, I don't even know why people make the Jalen Hurts argument. Big Mace. Jalen Hurts didn't even make that argument. First thing Jalen Hurts said, defense wins championships. I love it. Miss Matrix, she said she said we're not going to have a choice on 2 running backs. Who else do we have at guard? Deuce Vaughn. Yeah, I believe the Cowboys are going 2 running backs. They should. Deuce Vaughn need to be out of there. Deuce Vaughn does not fit what the Cowboys are trying to do. They may. I'll be interested to see what they do with him. D Webb. Okay, we'll do that next time. Let's try creating a different scenario on the draft. We pick the same pick as everyone else. Now, me, hey, D Webb, I'm sticking to what I've been saying for the lowest. I want to make a Travion Henderson. I don't think Genty is going to be there. So, what we'll do on the next one, when we start tomorrow, D Webb, we're going to start on the O-line. Because that's where a lot of people have been talking about, too. We'll start on the O-line. But if the Cowboys start an O-line in this draft, man, I'm going to be so mad I don't know what to do. I'll tell you, I'll be so mad. I do not want the Cowboys to do no more O-line stuff again. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did it a little late, but yeah, we'll get it in next time. Yeah, we're gonna start different next time, for sure. But again, guys, I appreciate you. With Cowboys After Dark, We're going to do this again. Let's try to do this again this week. I love the Late Night Cowboy Show, for sure. But again, appreciate y'all rocking with me. Y'all hit that like button on the way out. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time at around 4:30. And we'll be talking about more things going on around the NFL. I would not be surprised if tomorrow Michael Parsons gets signed and the drama will be over. Amen? All right, guys. Hit that like button on the way out. Appreciate you rocking with me this late night. Till next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.